10 feet, 5 feet, 5. Houston, the Eagle has landed. What's going on, everybody? This is Soulful, bringing you a part 2 of surviving Mars. So we've gone ahead and we've landed onto the red planet, and now it is time to get down to business and start the process of getting a new colony together. Alright, so at the very top, that is new. That is our information bar. Tells us basically everything that we have, and I will go over that in a few. Just want to make sure we get a clear understanding. So all the different RC robots that we brought with us, as you can see, we are going to go ahead and get right to work on things. So the first thing you kind of really want to go ahead and do is you want to get a concrete extractor situated, so that way you can start getting concrete out of the ground. Certain structures cannot be built unless it has concrete, so you want to get that situated. What I'm actually doing right now is I'm actually trying to find that sweet spot. If you look at the status bar, it says available resource, and the number moves every time I move the different cone around. So what I want is I want to find that perfect sweet spot that I can get the most resources from that area. And so we get that situated, get that organized. Now it is time to go ahead and you gotta power it. So that's the reason why we bought the Stirling Generators. That's basically it's the #1 resource you ever want to use when you play this game. As of right now, they have not nerfed it, but is the most OP source that you can use at this point in the game. So this is actually the water extractor. So what, and we will come back to that. We want to make sure we can get the robots working on getting the ship unloaded, as well as getting a power cord to the concrete extractor. So right now what I'm doing, I'm just going through my different robots so I can get them exploring and doing different things. So we brought a transport robot that moves or collects materials and can move materials around the map, which comes very useful, and I will show you that very muchly so in a few minutes. Also, we brought an explorer robot, so when you find little anomalies that they call on the map, the anomalies, what they do is the robot goes and it investigates it by scanning it, and then it reads the material and gives you new technologies from what it's learned. So that's one of the easiest ways I can explain what the Explorer robot does. And then we bought a RC Commander, which is basically a remote controlled RC drone hub. It carries drones in the back of it, and you can just place it anywhere that you want, and that robot will do, you know what I'm saying, it will become a mobile command hub for a certain amount of drones. Right now what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to put down some depots. The depots is where the robots take the materials, like the different metals and the different machine parts and electronics, all the materials that you use to build structures with. We're going to put down some depots so that way they can have a storage space to be able to collect them and put them down. You always want to kind of put them at least with one space in between. I've noticed in previous playthroughs of this game that sometimes the transport robot will actually get stuck on top of the depots if they're too close together. So definitely that is a little bit of a helpful hint. I always typically when I do them as double up. And the reason why you just want to have like a unified, organized system, so that way your robots always know they're going to take their stuff off, because there are going to be times where you're going to have ships come in, you're going to bring in lots of resources, so you want to make sure you just have a nice, good storage space area set aside. So that's what this is all situated. Alright, so right here I go ahead and I unpause the game. I originally told the transport robot to go ahead, and there was some visible surface metal, so I told it to go up here and extract the metal from up there. I need to remember to turn off hints the next time I play, but as you can see, it's pulling the metal off the ground and it's collecting it. And then it's going to take it as a route, go up there, collect metal, and come back to the depots to deposit it. And there you go. And that's why it becomes so useful, because you can just tell it to go somewhere and collect everything it can find in that spot, and it'll just go back and forth and just keep doing it until it runs out of whatever is in that area, and then it'll stop. And that's very useful, especially in the very beginning when you need metals. So as you can see, they are now building the concrete extractor. Now all we need to do is just give it power. So that will be the next task as for getting power to the concrete extractor. So here we are talking about the Stirling Generators. Stirling Generators, like I was saying before, is one of the most OP forms of electricity that you can have. They offer you solar, they offer wind turbines, but those require maintenance, and the solar panels require metals for maintenance, and turbines require machine parts as maintenance. But Stirling Generators, as far as we know, they don't take any wear and tear. So you can stack a bunch of them, and the only time that they really actually take any wear and tear is if you actually open the dome up. Then it starts taking wear and tear, but as long as the dome is closed, it provides 10 units of power every time. If you open it up, it gives you double that, so it'll give you 20, and that you only use that sparingly. Like if you're in a situation where maybe your grid goes down, like half your grid goes down, and you're like, okay, I need a little extra power so that I don't have all these domes running out of power, then you open them up. But you only do it for a very short period of time, because that's where they'll take damage and then they'll require maintenance. But as long as they're closed, you're always getting 10 units of power, and they never have to be maintained. So that's why we in the community feel that they are so OP. Hopefully the developers will not change their minds on making a change to that in any time soon, because we love it that way. I've actually seen some incredible ideas of people making like complete Stirling generator hubs, where it's just a field of Stirling generators, and it's just powering a whole community. It's just, wow, amazing. So what we just did, we just ran the power cable from the 2 Stirling generators that we brought up with us. The power cables are made out of metal, so the little robots will take the surface metal that we collected, and they will create the cabling. And once we get the concrete extractor online, it will start making us concrete. It's coming. There we go. Alright, so now the Contra Extractor is working, as you can see. It's just basically going to send out a little roller. It's going to collect the rock and turn it into concrete, so we can use it to build structures. Now with these type of devices, they have, so we went down like how we did depots for all the different materials. We have to do a waste rock deposit area, and I think I do that next. So again, these videos are post commentary after I was sick for the past couple weeks, so I'm sorry if I'm not too clear on when certain events happen. Hey, that's a part of post commentary, guys. You get to hear it live from me after I've already played it. So I see more metals on the map, so I'm gonna go send the transport robot to go get some more metal for us. Alright, so you get that first little plot on the map. Then you have to go and you want to scan the other remaining areas. I usually do like a little cluster around me so I can know those areas first. There you go. Now on this particular map, it's not really a whole lot of room. As you can see, there's a little area where there's like a shell, and then there's a plateau on top of a mountain. So we'll probably build a lot of domes on top of that mountain one, and then we'll start off with some domes on the lower area where we currently are at right now. Yeah, I see a lot of room up there for domes, so we'll probably see how that works out. Alright, so here we are. We finally are going to go ahead and put in the dumping sites for the concrete extractor, so that way they could take the waste rock and dump it over here out of the way. And there actually is a research in the research tree that allows waste rock to be converted into concrete, but you have to research it, and it's somewhere later on down the line in the tree, so you don't just get that initially, and it's not a option that you can unlock automatically either. It does take time for it to get approved for that. So here I'm actually noticing that the new update has been approved. They've actually released two updates. By the tunnels that connects domes to each other. When the game was released, that was not originally an option. And then they've also released a second update where it gives us triangle domes, which is actually kind of interesting. I like that one. That's actually a very nice idea, because that way you uh, that was one I did on my own free time. And like I said in the first episode, if you hadn't got a chance to watch it, definitely check it out. Don't forget to hit that like button as well. Free plug. But yeah, in the first video, I advised that we started a live stream let's play over on our Twitch channel, and that file got not usable because of the changes that they made after the two updates. So I had to start a new let's play, and that's what we are doing right now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and our command is saying that it's outside of the drone's radius for them to do work up there. We need to get the power cable completed, foreshadowing the power cable moving up that way because we need to put in the water sources so we can get water extracted under the ground.
Research complete. Sector scanned.
Alright, so here we are. We're actually going to go ahead and install the water sources. Now, I am going to give you some friendly advice about this game. The way the water sources work, every device has a cone of influence. So as you can see, as long as that water symbol is inside the cone of influence, then I can extract the water from that one particular water source. I am not extracting any water from the other water source that's sitting directly next to it, but as I can actually add multiple like production devices within that cone of influence. So you can actually fit sometimes up to 4 to 6 different extractors, as long as it's enough room for them to all be within inside the cone of influence of that particular resource. And that works for any particular resource: water, regular metals, rare metals, which is basically gold metal that you find in the ground. And so definitely that's just some helpful advice for anybody that ever does decide to try and play Surviving Mars. You can have multiple extractors at one location. Just wanted to give as a quick little hint. Now, I don't actually want to use all of them, like, have it installed. I don't know why I always do this, but I always forget to put in the pipes. Usually you want to put in the pipes first, but you want to put your extractors down and then figure out where you're going to put your pipes. But you want to make sure you put your pipes in before they actually finish the construction of the device, because the water's got to go somewhere, and you want to make sure you have that situated beforehand. But as you can see, I had to pause the game so the water's not wasted. And the one thing about the piping is actually raised up above the ground. It's actually pretty tall. Like, I've actually seen PC versions of gameplay, and they have really good cameras. They can actually get down to like ground level, and it almost looks like the piping is almost like something like 10-15 feet in the air. Like, it's really awesome, the cinematic views you can get from like the PC version of this game. But the piping is above the ground, so all the drones, everything runs underneath the piping. So it was really cool. And then you just attach different things. Like, we're gonna go ahead and add in some water tanks. Sorry about that. So we're gonna go ahead and add in some water tanks. I'm sorry. I was listening back to the playback. It sounded like the audio cut out, so my bad about that, guys. But yeah, we're gonna add in some water tanks. These water tanks, they don't hold that much water, but they are okay. They hold, I think, 100 units of water, if I'm not mistaken. So we want to put in quite a bit, so that way we can have some stored up water. And this is basically the beginning stages of starting a colony on surviving Mars. It's mostly like just a basic grind game, guys. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you. You will spend many hours just waiting for things to get completed, but it's a very fun game. Like, if you're a fan of games like City Skylines or Planet Coaster, or even the new game Jurassic World Evolution, you know, they are all based on the same similar concept. And you have to have, you know what I'm saying, that nick or that want to kind of play these type of games. Even Sims, like the Sims 4 or the Sims 3, if you're a fan of Sims type games, this is probably a game that you might be able to get into. So, just putting that out there. So as you can see, the little drones, they just take metal, they create the piping, install the electrical power lines to everything. I love the little drones. The drones are really cool, man. Just to watch them build is so much fun.
Sector scanned.
Alright, guys, so we've already got one water source going. The scans have found us 2 more, so this colony is definitely going to be in the good for the water. But at this point, what I'm going to go ahead and do, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. This is going to be end of part 2 of Surviving Mars. Hope you guys are enjoying the video. If you are, go ahead and hit that like button. And definitely, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe so you also know when we do upload new content. Check us out over on Twitter. It's at SoulfulSax Gaming. and I will see you guys later.